first class you take with me is called Intro to Construction, and you learn how to use tools like hammers and drills. How many of us use a hammer before? All right, awesome. Fantastic. How many of you used a drill before? Fantastic. All right. So you're already on track. So we teach you how to use these tools and table saws and circular saws and all these different kind of tools that you see on construction job site. All right. So, and whenever you learn how to use those tools, you just build small things inside our shop, like the step stool over there, like a birdhouse, build a shelf, a toolbox, and just small projects that get you used to using those tools and using them safely. All right, after you take that first class, the next class you take with me is called carpentry. What does a carpenter do?
Build a house.
Yeah, what?
Build a house.
Build a house, exactly right. So what you do inside our shop is exactly that. You'll build a floor, you'll build walls, you'll put a ceiling in it, you'll put doors, you'll put windows in it. You'll actually build a small house inside our shop there. All right, and you'll be able to do it all on your own. And of course, you work in groups, and then you'll do things on your own, and that gives you the carpentry aspect. And the next aspect, the third class you take with me, is called electricity. Anything inside your house that takes electricity, you'll know how to wire. The plug-ins or outlets, the receptacles that you plug your phone chargers into, you'll know how to wire those. Light switches, you know how to wire them. Lights, you'll be able to wire them. Exhaust fans, smoke detectors, electrical panels, anything inside your house. There's nothing inside your house that Cole can't wire. Cole's one of my former students, and he's still one of our students, but there's nothing inside your house. He can go up to anything that you have inside your house and he can wire it, because he took my class. And the fourth class you take with me is plumbing and HVAC. That's your hot water, cold water, sewage, and your heating and cooling. All right. So whenever you get done with our program, you know you are strong in how to build a house, wire a house, plumb a house, and how to heat and cool a house. Okay. And so that helps you, especially if you want to go into the construction career.
We'll also talk about, like I said, the 4 forces of flight. Right. So thrust, weight, lift, and drag. You'll learn about how those all work together to get a plane in the air or a drone in some cases. We'll also learn about how weather affects flying. A few more things. We'll talk about how to read maps. I'll show you guys a map here in a minute. But other than that, these are the drones we're going to use in this course. This is the DJI Mavic Air 2. This is like a filmmaking drone. We take this one outside the most. We have a couple of them. I think we have 3 or 4 of them. We'll take this one outside, and we'll take, where's it at? The controller with it. This is a touchscreen controller. It's got like a phone screen on it. Typically before we had ones that you had to plug your phone into, but these ones now it's just built in. So you got your typical video game controls, up, down, kind of turn it like so, like that. And then you've got your right, left, forward, backwards. You can stop the drone where it's at, auto land. There's videos and picture buttons on the top. You guys can see. There you go, right here. So you can take pictures and videos. So that's like I said, that's our main one. We'll take 2 of those out at a time. We get about 30 to 40 minutes out of those. And then this is our DJI Avata. This is a first-person view drone. So what you'll do is you'll take these goggles and hook it up to the drone, and it's like you're sitting on top. And then you'll fly it using this joystick. So this is your gas pedal, and if you want to go forwards, point it forwards, backwards, left, and right. This will stop the drone right where it's at, and this will take videos for you. You can move the camera around as well. So that's another one we'll take outside. We don't take that one out as much, but we will take it out from time to time. This is, like I said, this is our main one. Then I have the drone here on the end. It's called a Tello. A couple of you guys can pass around here. And so this is our inside drone. We have 6 of these 2, and then 4 more. What we'll do is each table will get one. They'll fly them around, and they'll use the boundaries of their table as like the airspace where they can and can't go. But these ones will connect to your phone using Wi-Fi, so I'm going to go ahead and connect mine here. We fly this one easily the most because we're always inside. If we ever have free time, we usually pull one of these out and fly it around. So yeah, so like I said, it's got a camera on it, so I can see what's going on through the drone. And then it'll do cool tricks. It can do flips. So if I just do that, it'll flip around. It's pretty cool. And then, it'll do your typical drone stuff. Move left, right, up, down, and then it'll land on its own. So we use those a couple times throughout the class, just more or less for fun than we do actually use them for a lesson. If we're using them for a lesson, we use a bigger drone so you can see it a little bit better. So those are our drones we use throughout this course. Next up, we have our VFR sectional. This is our map of the skies. VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules, meaning you have to see where you're going, and if you can't, you probably shouldn't be flying. This map will depict different landmarks.
Your freshman and sophomore year, you'll take your intro to engineering classes. So in those classes, you'll learn all the basic math principles, the engineering design processes, how engineers approach problems. In those classes, you'll have several projects. One of them is you'll build a bridge using little balsa wood. Yeah, it's almost like a toothpick. And you'll use the engineering process to create the strongest bridge you can, and you'll have a competition at the end of the year. And depending on how well you do, using those tiny little sticks of wood, you can support a lot of weight. And then another project you do is a reverse engineering project. So you'll pick any item of your choosing, and you'll design it in a 3D CAD modeling software. So here's something that Raymond made. He designed this sword right here in 3D CAD software. So he took a lot of time making this. There's a lot of precise angles and curves, a lot of different measurements that went into this. And if he wanted to, he could cut it out with a CNC machine here, or he could 3D print it. So there's a lot of things you can do with this modeling software, and you'll actually be certified for that your junior year. This here is something made with a CNC machine. So the CNC machine, you program it to cut out a lot of different materials. This was actually made out of one single piece so that you could save material. And so there's a lot of cool things that you can do with this 3D model. And after your freshman and sophomore year, your junior year, you'll take the engineering class, or the electrical engineering class. So in this class, you want to pass that around? It's a breadboard. So in this class, you'll work with circuits, learn how computers work, learn about all the different components like capacitors and cathodes, anodes, a lot of different pieces that go into the same circuits that are found in a computer or your phone. That is a breadboard, so it's a large-scale version of a computer chip that would be found in any of the devices you use. And using those breadboards, you can simulate a lot of the same things that happen within a computer chip. Also, your junior year, you'll get certified to use Autodesk Inventor, which is a 3D CAD software just like this. And with that certification, if you wanted to right out of high school, you could go and get a job, as an engineering apprentice. And then after your junior year, after you've passed electrical engineering and gotten your certification, your senior year, you have several options. You can take civil engineering or mechanical engineering. Civil engineering is working with construction, working on bridges and roads, things like that. Mechanical engineering is working with things like gear ratios and engines, anything that moves. And in both of those classes, you can also get certifications for civil and mechanical engineering. To complete your pathway, you have to either take this engineering capstone class, which is your senior project, or you can take an engineering co-op, where for the last half of the day, you'll go to, say, Alton or Metalsa, working under actual engineers, getting first-hand experience in the engineering world, making roughly $15 an hour, so it's a paid internship, and you get to get your hands dirty and work in the real world instead of sitting in the classroom.
So there is a cost. It is a lot less money than regular college classes. Like last semester, I paid around $1,000, but like if you went to like WKU or Louisville, it would be like a couple $1,000s for one semester. You also get free textbooks, so you don't have to pay for your textbooks. So there are some qualifications. So you must have an 18 in English, a 22 in math, and a 20 in reading. But if you have taken the ACT and let's say you got a 16 on English, we have other tests that you can take to like boost your score up and get to the academy. You must have completed Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry by the end of 10th grade year. This is normally why people will double up math classes 10th grade year. So some important skills to have is good time management. Like I said earlier, you won't have teachers telling you what to do. You must have a can-do attitude and be on time. And then like work from different classes can pile up really fast, so it's important to lock in.
For your very first class, you're going to take Principles of Health, so you're going to basically learn different jobs in the medical field alongside laws. You will also learn how medical history evolved over time. For your 10th grade, you will be learning in Mr. Witzel's class. So he teaches emergency procedures and medical terminology. You can get CPR certified through that class, which is a certification you're going to be required for any medical job that you go to. Now, we also have one more class that we require everyone to take, and this is going to be in your junior year. We require an anatomy class. If you guys go to North Hardin High School or Central Hardin High School, you have an anatomy class that you can take there. However, if any of you guys end up going to John, you are going to have to take body structures here, which is taught by Ms. Bowman and Mr. Whistle.
This is Ms. Compton. She teaches Medicaid nurse aid. You get your CNA through Medicaid nurse aid. Your CNA is your certified nursing assistant. You have to get 16 clinical hours and a certain amount of classroom hours to be eligible for the certification. You also have to have a certain testing score with your exams. I think you need to at least have a 70% test average or 78, somewhere around there. If you don't meet your test average, you're not eligible to take the certification at the end of the trimester. You take the certification at EC3, and you can work in hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, stuff like that. This is Miss O'Daniel. She teaches phlebotomy, pharmacy, and EKG, as well as med math. Miss Hall also teaches Medicaid nurse aid like Miss Compton and med math like Miss O'Daniel. These are all capstone. Most of them are dual credit, so they count for college credits for medical.
So we start out with photography, teaching you how to set those shots up, making sure that they look good, and then moving into doing some film. So what we've got around here are some of the cameras that we use here. We also work hand in hand with HCEC-TV, which is our district channel. They go out and they film the basketball games, the football games, the choir concerts, the band concerts, the award programs, all kinds of stuff. All right, most likely you've probably at some point seen us out and about. All right, filming that stuff. So that's what part of the class in here is also going and working for HCEC-TV to get that, to capture that. All right, so that is part of it.
In this presentation, we're talking about computer science and the pathways associated with it. First, there's 5 pathways: computer programming, web development. A lot of these are associated with the code that makes a computer run, or building websites, or managing and securing networks. Computer programming usually has assets with game design. So you have a lot of jobs that rely on being able to write out code and being able to debug code. AP Computer Science Principles is a very umbrella pathway or class, meaning when you take it, it'll cover a lot of pathways. Web development is more in the website building portion of coding. Cybersecurity is another umbrella course, and then so is computational thinking. A lot of these courses are intercompatible with different pathways, depending on what kind of adaptations you want to make to your career. Web development and administration is more with web design. Digital literacy is one of those umbrella courses, as well as web development. Internet technologies doesn't really match with AP computer design or AP computer science. Internet technologies mainly is concerned with the web development portion, and then computational thinking is one of those umbrella courses. Network administration is all about managing your network and making sure it runs smoothly. Digital literacy, computer hardware and software maintenance deals a lot with finding out the different parts of a computer, both physically and on the internet or on the computer itself. Internet technologies or computational thinking are 2 of those semi-umbrella pathways. And then network administration deals mainly with the network administration. I think it also deals with network security, but it's definitely a class that you need to take when you're trying to go for network administration, which is like IT. Network security is making sure that nobody gets into your network and messes everything up. So we have digital literacy, computer hardware and software, cybersecurity, which is only concerned with about 3 of the pathways, and then network administration is also with the other network path. Information and supportive services, this is like customer service and help desk organizations, helping customers with like payments, helping companies finance themselves, and really just supporting companies and customers with their computer needs. So you have digital literacy, computer hardware and software maintenance, internet technologies, and computer science co-op, which is an internship, which means you actually go out and you perform IT tasks, and then you get paid for it, as well as learning.
We got a lot of trainers around the room. As you can see, we got an electrical trainer, an engine. So we also have a brake trainer over there to teach you how to work on your drum brakes compared to your disc brakes. Most vehicles you see today have disc brakes on them. Like most everything in here has disc brakes, but as you get into your older vehicles like the Chevelle here, they have drum brakes. Most older vehicles and bigger trucks have drum brakes on the back. He'll teach you how to adjust the springs on drum brakes, how to work drum brakes. Sophomore year, you use this electrical trainer a lot. Electricity is not my favorite thing, but I can do it. To teach you how to wire your headlights, your brake lights, your tail lights, your turn signals. I think it'll even teach you how to wire a radio all the way up to your ignition switch. Your engine trainer here, it's just like your regular engine you see in your 4-cylinder cars. Very cool thing though is it's got a computer built into it, so this is just like a computer you hook up to an ECM unit in your vehicle. It'll show you exactly what's wrong with the vehicle. As you can see here, this is a wiring diagram. Shows you every wire that runs the engine, what makes the engine start through what wire. Like I said, it does just like your regular engine does. Started just fine there. So it runs, it's got a gas pedal. You can do everything that you do on your car at home. So really cool things is you get into like changing your spark plugs, your coil packs. You can do everything on this engine that you can do on the engine in that truck. As you see around the shop, we have 2 tire changers. We have a tire changer right there. We have a tire changer on that side of the shop. That's one of the very first hands-on activities you get to do out here. You learn to change a tire as one of the first things. You also learn to plug tires as you go. Plugging a tire is a lot simpler than people make it sound sometimes.
So for culinary 1, we get to be in here for 2 class periods, and then for our 3rd class period, we go across the hall.
For culinary 2, we're in here basically all day until 3rd period.
They're in here all 3 periods. Your first year, you'll have a white apron. Your second year, you'll have gray shirts like us. And then third year, you'll have black shirt like her. And then your 4th year, you'll have a green shirt. And that's an intern. Interns do make money here.
You also go out to restaurants and be able to cook for like other people and make money off that too.
All right. Over here, this is our walk-in fridge and walk-in freezer. This is our glass chiller. It cools stuff extremely fast. We have a microwave. It works just like your microwave at home. Please go. And this is an ice cream machine. We're hoping to use it this week.
Right here we have our leftover cooler. It's used for what it sounds like. Leftover dressings, pepperoni, cheese, everything that's left over we put in here.
This is a produce sink, washed vegetables, drain box, potatoes, and we only use it for cooking and water, for like drinks or stuff.
All right, y'all want to come over this way? It's our raw meat cooler. We have some raw meat in there, not sure what it is. Right now we have duck fat. We use duck fat and ProStart. ProStart is a cooking competition. It's very fun, you learn a lot of stuff. I'm in it, and a few other people in this class are in it. This is our meat slicer. It's very sharp and it's not a toy. Right here, these white sinks are the only sinks you can wash your hands in the kitchen. You use these pedals on the floor to turn it on.
There's 2 others. There's one over there, and then one over there, and one over there. So there's
That's
4.
3. That's 3 others.
You wanna?
Right here, this is our dishwasher. Just like the one you got at home, except more efficient and gets it done way faster.
This is our big oven. A lot of people like to call it a walk-in oven. You do not walk into it though. This is our crust cord. It's where we keep our food warm for catering. If you do join culinary, every year except for your first year, you are required to do 2 caterings after school for a grade.
I don't know if he's still going to keep doing it, but we're doing date night next month. So,
Right here we have our griddle, our stove, our convection ovens. Yes, that's the lunch lady.
This is the criminal justice pathway. It is offered through EC3, but you can only take it at John Hardin High School. So you will be bused from your home school to John Hardin to take this class. So the first class you will take is Intro to Criminal Justice. That is basically where you learn the basics. Everything that you need to know about courts, what goes on in courts, and who is all in the court system. Then you start to learn about juvenile justice. You guys are all juveniles. You all are all under the age of 18. Even if you have committed a crime or not, you are still a juvenile. So there's something called a status offense. That is something that is illegal for you guys to do under the age of 18. So say you run away or you're truant, which means you don't show up to school. You can get in trouble. But truancy does have this weird rule. If you are 18 and you are still in high school, you can go to jail for being truant. You won't go to juvenile detention where everyone else is going for truancy. You will go to jail with like the big felons who have like robbed stores, broken into cars, like all that kind of stuff. Then you learn about your constitutional rights as a person, not just as a juvenile, and what will happen if you like go to jail and what rights you lose. The second class you take is corrections, and that's where you learn about everything that happens inside and outside of the prison. So basically you learn about your intake process, you learn about code words they use in the prison, like in tattoo guns, and how those are most things built in the prison. Tattoos are a big thing in prison. If you get a tattoo while you are in prison, they can add 3 to 6 months to your sentence. But if it's gang related, they can add it to a year, and you'll have to finish out your original sentence, and then that year will be added on. So don't get tattoos while you're in prison, because they know all the tattoos that you have once you go in. Then you have prisonization, which basically means what's happening to you while you are in the prison and how you are going to react when you leave the prison. So we're going to go into the next class.
Law enforcement is personally my favorite. It's basically the physical aspects of being an officer. You do Wellness Wednesday. It's one thing that everybody hates. Me and her hated it. She was honestly the best for the females. She smoked me every single time in the race. Very embarrassed of myself. Not the most athletic. But if you try your best, the teachers kind of let you pass. It's just basically PE for every Wednesday of the standards of an officer has to go through. A 1.5 mile run and 22 push-ups in under a minute. It matters how old you are and what weight class you are for bench press, but it's a pretty good class. It teaches you how officers react in situations and how to de-escalate forms of actions or inappropriate behaviors that adults do or teenagers. We have a simulator that teaches how to de-escalate like a traffic stop or how to enter a school building during like a lockdown drill and try to make sure everybody's safe. And you react to it and it reacts back to you. And if you pass or fail, she'll inform you. It's not that bad. It's kind of anxiety based. And you have to be calmed down. I was a bad officer. I was kind of nervous. Failed my first time, but after the third time I got better. There's a shooting range that she teaches how to properly hold a fake gun for this. She actually beat the teacher, mentioning that to her, say Emma Sanders. She's pretty great, one of the best students in her class. But the final part about it, she teaches how to properly handcuff people and make sure no one gets hurt so they can't file as a police brutality. If they handcuff it improperly, it can cause scars or pain for the person.
Our last class, which you can only take as a senior, is criminal investigations. During this class, we first learn about the types of investigations. The first is the Reed method. This is a more aggressive approach. I'm going to go ahead and accuse you of whatever I think you did, and I'm going to further than that ask you questions based on it. The next is the peace method. That's where I want you to be my very, very best friend so I create that trustworthy bond between us, so you tell me everything you know. In this class, we also learn how to fingerprint, lift, and analyze, draw crime scenes, process evidence, and photograph crime scenes. A couple of days ago, me and Delaney are currently in this class, and our teacher set up a crime scene for us. This crime scene was decently large and had 4 potential weapons and only 1 prosthetic hand, so we didn't know what had happened in that crime scene.
We had no body.
Yes, we had no body, so it kind of made it a little bit more difficult. We also prepare for Skills USA, which is a U.S. competition. During this, we take a test that goes over everything that we've learned in all the classes, and then at the end, we go over the tasks that we have done, more than these 4 listed, but still. And then we also have a crime scene that can be up to the size of the room, and you have to go through with you and 2 other people in 45 minutes instead of you and up to 10 or 12 other police officers in multiple hours. So it makes it much more difficult. And I guess now we'll go ahead and go over handcuffing drills with me and Lorenzo.
Okay, so first things first, before we start going over handcuffing drills, I'm going to tell you all about our handcuffs. These are a set of double lock handcuffs. Right now, they are only in single lock because I can still move them. If they can be moved, that means they are single locked. You want them to be double locked like these where it does not move. Because if you start wiggling in the back of a police cruiser or you're sitting maybe on like the sidewalk and you accidentally click it, you might keep clicking it and cut off the circulation from your arms to your hands, which can cause permanent damage, and we can get in trouble, and you could end up losing your hands if it's like that for too long and you don't say anything. So we're gonna let Emma show you how to physically handcuff. Okay, so first things first, he's gonna take 3 steps forward.
One big thing, do not resist.
Yeah, don't resist. You will be in a lot more trouble if you resist. So the next thing he is going to do is he's going to stick his hands out in a T position, and then he is going to face his palms towards Emma. That is just to make sure he has nothing in his hands, and then she would pat him down afterwards, but we're not going to do that for time's sake. That's just to make sure he has no weapons that could hurt Emma. Next, he's going to interlock his fingers on the back of his head. After he interlocks his fingers, he's going to go down onto his knees and cross his ankles. When he's like this, that makes it where he cannot get up. Emma's going to take his right hand and put it in the first set of handcuffs. Then she's going to take his left and do the same thing. Now he is handcuffed, then we would double lock it to make sure he can't move it. Then she's going to help him stand up. So now he's properly handcuffed, and if he tries to run away, all she has to do is grab the middle of it, pull him backward, move him forward. What are you doing? That was not a clue for you to go. So this might look dumb how she is unlocking him, but it is the proper way to do it just to make sure that she has direct access to the keyholes, and to make sure if he starts resisting while she's trying to unlock him, all she has to do is move him. We have a minute left. We can handcuff one person.
One person.
Okay, yeah, we'll just do this one. Okay, Emma, you gonna do it?
Do not resist.
Yeah, don't resist. Another thing, when his hands are behind his back and she has him lift his hands, his knees will be locked. So if he starts to resist, all we have to do is kick you in the back of the knee and you will go down to the ground.
Turn around.
Normally
I go 3 steps forward, but it makes it kind of hard because of the room. Now go ahead and T-pose position.
Hands towards her.
Palms facing me. Interlock your fingers on the back of your head. Okay, then I would frisk or pat down, which makes it to where neither me or him can get hurt during this. Go ahead and get down to your knees, please, for me, and cross your ankles. That makes it to where his central balance is off. Next, I'm going to go and take your right hand, take it around. You got sleep. Roll your sleeves up. That makes it much harder. Now I'm going to take your left hand and bring it around. Okay. Still sleeves. Okay, now he's fully cuffed and double locked. Now I'm going to ask you to uncross. Perfect. Now he is handcuffed.
Yep.
You guys are done. Go ahead and bend over for me.
I've been resisting.
That is the only way you could possibly be injured in a handcuffing stop. Like if you were being detained, that's the only way you could get hurt is if you resist. That is the only way. Don't resist, you'll be fine. But you see how his legs, when she moves his arms up, his legs are completely straight. If I just tapped his leg, he would fall straight to the ground.
You lose all balance.
Yeah, all your balance is in your feet. When you're leaned over, your knees are locked. All you have to do is a simple tap and you'll go down.
Okay.